Hello, and welcome to a game called Pathologic. Let's watch this opening here.
Allow me to remind you that an epidemic of unknown origin has already eradicated a few genuinely distinctive towns in the northern part of the country. The cause and circumstances of these tragic events remain uncertain. There is a lot that we cannot explain yet. It appears as though the plague has a mind of its own, as if it is driven by some irrepressible will. Why else has no one managed to fight it successfully? Why does it target the most precious aspects of our existence? The sand plague picks its victims fastidiously, and the same principle always draws it back to whoever tries to oppose it. Surprisingly, we've yet to hear a single word from the powers that be.
Okay, so there's some kind of plague. Ravaging the towns in whatever world this takes place in. Pretty strange little opening cutscene there. I have no idea what was going on, but I think we'll find out. I've already kind of started. I started playing the other day, and I was streaming this, but I really kind of only been through the beginning of the game. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start a totally new game.
So, it's all about trickery to you? Wherever have you come from?
No. I detest trickery. But if we ourselves are to suffer deception, our hands are no longer tied. Where are we?
Well, the muscular contraction is there. Means you're already inside of him.
Wait 1 second. Let's see. Do we have subtitles? I don't think we have subtitles. That's fine.
This must be one of the ventricles, right here.
What a silly place. It's stuffed. So it's not real for now? I don't think it has started yet.
Does it matter what it's made of? It's definitely struggling. We need to perform sectio transversalis. Cut the wall. There's no other way out. What else is there to do?
I know what to do. Those who favor hard logic and direct action are bound to be misguided. Only a miracle can set us free without us having to destroy something. And I can do miracles. Just let me.
Will you please be quiet? You're a liar and a thief. Who is going to believe you when you keep lying to yourself? The truth is my shepherd. Whatever happens, I will find answers, and justice will be restored. I will perform the operation. Medica morbo adhibe.
Don't you go all bossy on me, clever clogs. You will act justly, but your justice will blind you and become his demise. This calls for the gentle hand of a surgeon. Step aside, both of you.
Your gentle hands are used to killing, not giving life. You will inevitably do harm. As for Brainy, he has no regard for casualties at all. Neither of you knows compassion.
Yes, it seems unlikely that we'll get along well. But there's only one truth.
Any choice is right as long as it's willed. That's the truth of the matter.
Only the heart will show you the right choice. Stop thinking about yourselves. Think of the sick. He's in pain. I can't see it yet, but I can feel it.
It's not even a trap. It's a grave. Subipsum funis sumus. Can't say I hold a soft spot for it.
I can see that. You're full of hate. Stuffed or not, it's breathing. I can hear it. It can be healed rather than killed.
You mean you won't become a killer? But you will. Mark my word, that's exactly what will happen. But I can avoid it.
No, we won't ever get along. I suggest we be on our way. The sooner the better.
Off we go then?
Let's go. The clock is ticking.
Another very strange interaction. Like, these are the three main characters that you get to choose from, like, when you start the game. So we go through this door. So, like, each one of them, I guess the idea here is that each one of them is kind of presenting their case, like saying, oh, hey, yeah, this is why you should pick me, because blah, 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 blah. But, really, we can only pick two at this point. We can't pick the girl. That's if we gotta finish either one of these storylines. And we're going to do them in order. So first and foremost, we're going to do Bachelor's storyline. The history of humanity witnessed a number of catastrophes that have demonstrated without a shadow of a doubt that the pettiness of human achievement and the triumph of the invincible evil. Outbreaks of infectious diseases that have from time to time wiped towns and cities off the map are undoubtedly among those. However smart and virtuous, the people caught up in these destructive events have repeatedly come to the conclusion that it's no use trying to fight these circumstances. The best you can do is bite the bullet and cope with your losses. This is the story of a person who has managed to work a miracle and defeat a seemingly unvanquishable foe.
Daniil Dankovsky, a Bachelor of Medicine, was brought here by circumstances most unfortunate. Dankovsky's life work, his theory challenging the existing notions of human mortality, is being harshly persecuted by the powers that be. Suddenly, a letter arrives from a colleague suggesting that there is previous undiscovered evidence which may support Dankovsky's claims. There is a settlement, the letter says, ruled by an extraordinary man who may well be seen as objective proof of Dankovsky's daring hypothesis. Grasping at straws of hope, Dankovsky decides to follow what he believes to be the sign of divine providence. Without further ado, he sets off for the settlement. Late at night, Bachelor arrives in the town. As he seeks room and board, he gets to know a girl called Eva Yan and stays at her place till dawn.
Okay, so now we're into the game proper. Alright, our mission. As of today, my mission remains obscure. The examination of Simon Kane, who is rumored to be a man of incredible longevity, may shake the very foundation of modern technology and challenge the existent notions of death itself. However, even if this undying Leviathan proves to be more than a fairy tale, the mere confirmation of his existence won't suffice to prevent the powers that be from shutting our laboratory down. I need to figure out the most fruitful approach. Simon is a well-respected man, and if he mistakes my interest for effrontery, it would be nigh impossible to convince him to help me break new ground in the field of human vitality. Alright. We've got nothing for today's quest or other task. Alright, day 1, by the end of which the Bachelor finds himself battling a truly unvanquishable foe. Alright. So you are on a timer in this game. Time actively moves on. So and people do things without you being there. So you have to catch certain things at the right time. The world does not wait for you in this game. And I think that is very cool. I think that is great. Alright. Let's go downstairs. Oh, and I'm going to go ahead and save. One of the things about this game, you want to save frequently also. Let's overwrite these old ones. Actually, can we let's get rid of some of these older ones. And then we'll start an entirely new one. And then you just got the quick saves. Alright, anyways, alright, so let's get started. First things first.
Don't you think my colors have faded?
I think you look fine. Let's talk with her a little bit.
I had a feeling you would come.
And one of the things I didn't know when I first started playing this game, so at a certain point, this is gonna become a blind playthrough. I haven't even made it past the first day in this game, and I really like it so far because you got to figure out a lot of stuff on your own. Don't know if I said that already or not, but anyways, we can click on her portrait here, and it gives us a little bit of an overview of the character, or like what other characters think of her. So we have Eva Yan and Peter Stamatin's take on her, which will be like these two characters here. We don't know them yet, but we will know them, and it'll be important what they have to say later on. So Peter Stamatin's take on her. She came to love my creation when it was but a sketch. People are often astonished by it, but rarely is it met with love. Even the children merely tolerate it. Loving an edifice like this demands vivid and outstanding imagination. In Victor Kane's take, Eva possesses some virtues that my daughter, unfortunately, does not. She is gentle. She is trustworthy. She would never stoop to betrayal. She could be the soul of a focus, were she not enamored of death so bizarrely and persistently. Okay, so this gives us a little bit of insight into Victor Kane's daughter. So Victor Kane's daughter is not gentle, she's not trustworthy, and Victor Kane's daughter would betray people. So we know that. And the girl that, his daughter, I think that's Maria Kane. For some reason, the females, like their last names are slightly different with an A at the end. Did the sounds from the outside wake you up too? There was a terrible groan, and then something snapped loudly. I fell asleep so quickly I didn't even notice. It's like I fainted. So what sounds are you talking about? I think there are strangers in the backyard, by the pond. They're unlikely to be planning mischief, but I have a bad feeling about this. I'm afraid to go out to them. I hope they go away soon and stop disturbing our sleep. Why do you think they aren't planning anything foul? Our population is so thin. Crime is basically non-existent, especially here in the stone yard. Sometimes there are pranks, of course. Fights happen occasionally. People are young here, so they often go out at night. But we're a tight community, and now I hear unfamiliar speech. That's not a good sound. Go out and take a look, but I'm in a hurry. I must see this founding father of yours. Are you willing to trade the company of a fascinated woman for that of a dreadful old man, even if he is a sorcerer? That's so sad. But Simon won't go anywhere. He has always been, he always will be. Even if the moon were to fall to the ground. Please stay with me a little longer. So we can either ask this or this. I haven't asked this before, so I want to try this out. I couldn't even imagine the hospitality here. But who is waiting for me? I didn't notify old Barak of my arrival. I'm not even sure what made me take off for this place. Glory is the messenger riding ahead of the man. A celebrity from the capital, Bachelor Dankovsky, the founder of Thanatica, the man who challenges death. Of course we've heard about you. This glory is undeserved yet, but I hope that getting to know your ruler will give me a chance to live up to the expectations. Death. So that's the enemy you've chosen for yourself. Isn't it hard? I don't think anyone has managed to defeat that evil yet. Let's see. Millions of doctors defeated it on certain singular occasions, but my enemy is more fearsome. It is death itself rather than a singular case of death. I don't understand. I can barely understand it myself. Could death only seem inevitable to us, but in reality be nothing more than a whim of the will that had shaped this world? That is the question. So where is the key to my victory? It's not far. The Canes live at the Crucible on Bridge Square, but could I please offer you a piece of advice? Go on. Simon has two younger brothers. The eldest of the two, Georgie, is called the Judge by the locals. Visit him first. He isn't asleep. He'll teach you how to speak with Simon. The youngest of the three is Victor. His daughter, Maria, also wanted to see you. It's probably important. Was it she who knew about my arrival beforehand? Yes, she told me about it privately. Talking to her is no simple task. Maria is that kind of person. She puts on airs, but that's just how the Canes are. It was Maria who told me that she would help you defeat death. That's the precise wording. What a coincidence. Alright, thank you for the advice. Go, and I'll prepare everything for your return. Do come back after you speak to the Canes. They will probably do a lot of things that will puzzle you and put you on guard. I will have some advice that may be of help to you, if you need it. Okay, so we'll go back to her after we talk to the Canes. Okay, I'll come back. Alright. So, first thing we need to do is exactly that. Talk to Georgie Kane. So it's early in the morning, and we'll look at these guys back here too. Let's talk to these guys first. This is the tragedian. Venerable Bachelor, please be so kind as to linger for a minute. This conversation won't take too much of your time, especially since time stops during dialogues, at least during the important ones, and our dialogue is extremely important. You need to know how to play, after all, don't you? Yeah, kind of breaking the fourth wall a bit there. Play? What are you talking about, masked man? I'm neither a gambler nor an actor. Of course you aren't. You are a living, breathing man, as is evident from your conditions and statuses. You experience hunger, thirst, and fatigue. You suffer from pain, wounds, and diseases. You're so lifelike. You have to eat, drink, sleep, and rest, and to make mistakes. The latter being the most definitive proof of my human nature, wouldn't you agree? If I may, I would like to point out just how important it is to keep an eye on your condition. If you get dizzy or unnaturally sluggish, do have it checked up. Vital processes tend to run faster during emergencies than in everyday life. I knew a person who died of stress but was diagnosed with starvation. It happens. I can testify to that as a doctor. Need I remind a wise man like you of the fact that hunger is sated with food. Food can be found in shops, and shops can be found in ordinary houses that are marked with specific signs. Sleep, however, is more complicated. People only sleep in beds, and only in private residences around here. I am sorry, but that's just how our world is. Yes, the world is unjust. You'll have to excuse me a bit. I'm a little bit sick, kind of Kind of caught a cold, and so I'll try not to cough too much into the microphone. And quite silly, if you forgive me for saying so. Speaking of commerce, different shops sell similar items at different prices. Make sure you don't get cheated. People can be quite brazen around here. You can also barter with the folk out in the street. Some things may be nothing more than trinkets to you, but others will be willing to part with their life's blood for them. Blood? Yes, blood. It's not my place to lecture you, but if, following your Hippocratic oath, you ever consider easing someone's pain, feel free to just approach them with a suitable drug. You will see their pain receding before your very eyes. The sick fall asleep when they're close to recovery, don't they? Or when they're close to their ultimate rest. Still, helping the hopeless will grant you a good reputation. You will be seen as a benefactor willing to part with a precious sleeping draught or a painkiller for a simple bystander. Anything else? No, not yet. Show me the way to Simon's house. Turn left now, then walk along the alley. You will see a cathedral and 3 mansions across Ridge Square. Simon lives in the one that is the closest to the river. Thank you. Alright, let's talk to this guy too. The executor. Wait a minute. Okay, it doesn't say anything about these guys. Halt! I'm going to have to teach you about the technicalities of the setting, the time and the place. It's non-essential, but that's just how it is. The actor has to be prepared before he goes on stage, or else he'll fall down the aisle or stumble upon the prompt box. That would look mighty silly, wouldn't you agree? Speak, I'm listening. Time flies by. It can't be stopped or turned back. Nights follow days, which are then followed by nights. Things happen without any regard for whether you're there to witness them. Don't expect anyone to wait for you. Most events can be missed. And so it would make sense for you to visit the places that you care about regularly. You'll find the people that will play major roles in your fate there. They stand out from the common folk. The rest are just a crowd shot, a background, a bunch of extras, as it has always been. Seems like this is kind of like a commentary on video games themselves right now, I guess. Or they're just breaking the fourth wall, but still it's kind of cool. Indeed. Still, it's best to avoid hasty judgment. It's a paradox, you see. Don't try to care too much for the lives of these bound-to-stand-out people. And don't be too dismissive of the silent crowd. Both extremes will end in tragedy. Why is that? This world cares for your reputation, a fine and crucial instrument. Your reputation changes the world you see, for it is a mirror, wouldn't you agree? And so a bad reputation can get you into a lot of trouble. For example, oh, need I describe? You've got a vivid imagination. Everything changes, from mystical aspects to mundane things like the people you need treating you badly. How many enemies you've got, how high the prices rise, how bad your dreams are, lots of things. A sorry prospect, so how do I maintain my reputation? Really? How is that even a question? Same as anywhere. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not betray, do not steal, do not covet, do not be an asshole, do not get caught. That final one, don't get caught. I feel that's important. The rules are the same everywhere. A truly selfless deed, like risking something for thy neighbor or even a person who lives quite far away, can help in a dire situation. I see. Really? Good for you then. As for me, I can't see anything in this mask. I have no idea what's going on. Anyway, don't get too worked up about human lives, and don't put too much stock into another's words, mine included. He who trusts everyone is asking to be deceived. Yet he who trusts no one is deluded. I know that from experience. Okay, so let's go back here and let's check on the voices that we were hearing and stuff. As that Eva was here. The noises. Okay, they saw us. Let's go talk to them, see what's up. What do you want? This ain't your business. What is this creature? An Odom, duh. That's what all them cattle breeders look like. Crude and unshapely and unfinished. Don't you know? Wherever you came from. An intruder, huh? Hold on. This is just what that guy back there, that's just what the cattle breeders look like. That's so strange. Yes, I'm a visitor in this town. Who could have thought it's home to such creatures? The worm feels sick, head packed, blood boiling, belly freezing. Let the worm warm up. Let him take a rest. Don't touch us, we're dangerous. Whoa, that's some stench, you animal. How on earth do you even live like that? You have to say that to keep from getting your ass kicked by these two guys. If you try to fight them, like, it's not worth it. And all you have as a weapon is a scalpel. So let's head on over to Simon's house. Or to his mansion, or whatever. And we'll see what's going on over there. And I'm really excited to play this game for you guys. I really hope that someone out there enjoyed it. Because this game is it's a cult classic. Came out back in 2005 and it's a Russian game, so and you can tell that the developers of this game were kind of new. There are some things that look kind of how would you say bare, but they're making a remake of this game, or well, it's more like, well, they call it a remake. It's more like a reboot. They're, confusingly enough, they're calling it Pathologic 2, but really it's not 2, it's just the same game with a new coat of paint, a totally new one. So, but anyways, let's see what's going on with old Georgie. There's this place over here, this strange place called the Polyhedron. We'll check that out later. This trash can over here. Nope, nothing. Alright, let's go in here. Talk to old Georgie.
Most men only die because they know not how to prevent dying.
Most venerable doctor, it is with great impatience that we have been expecting you. You need not delve into the minutiae of your business with us, since our family is well acquainted with your scholarly work. We are also quite aware of the difficulties you are experiencing and well prepared to do our utmost to support you. It hurts me all the more to be the one to inform you that Simon, my consanguineous brother, the creator, keeper, and embodiment of all that surrounds us, has been murdered. Damn it, why did it have to happen just before I arrived, right as I found the chance to prevail? Precisely, why did it have to happen just before your arrival? Are you asking yourself the same question? I hope you don't see any connection between my arrival and the murder. In fact, I do see a connection. However, do not mistake it for a thought that it was you who murdered him. What do you know? My brother was murdered last night, under the strangest of circumstances, but for all the mystery surrounding his death, I'd rather eschew the notion that his departure was connected with whoever had visited Simon that evening. The visitor is a man of laudable rectitude and an old friend of our family. There are witnesses to testify that he and Simon did nothing but converse. Who was the visitor? Someone you know quite well. The man whom my brother saw last night was your colleague, Isidore Barat. Was he not the very person to advise you come here as well? I would have told you that I'd been brought here by the hand of fate not so long ago, a naive man that I was. Isidore has done more than he thinks. I have a lingering feeling that time itself is using uncontestable powers to further its own intentions. What do you think? Categories like time, nature, and fate deprive man of responsibility for what goes on around him. I was taught to avoid this worldview. It could be that my mind is clouded by sorrow, but I cannot escape the feeling that your arrival was no coincidence. Your choice was made for you, my dear doctor. Let us not blame fate for it. Isidore wrote to you without making us aware. He took a risk that could have displeased our family. Why do you speak the word fate with such disgust? I prefer the word time, in a fatalistic sense of the notion, of course. So Simon wasn't aware I would come. Even though we were uncertain of when you would arrive, my brother was looking forward to meeting you. The tragedy may have been a consequence of the actions he took in preparation for your arrival. Someone has taken a powerful piece from the chessboard, a piece upon which your position here depended. It is doubly regrettable that Simon was playing on your side. Why is that regrettable that he was playing on my side? So you presume the queen knew the blow and sacrificed himself for a pawn. But why? To grant you victory over death. Was it not your ultimate aspiration? To help you, Simon seems to have played a very dangerous game with fate itself. He went out of his way to provide you with a body of evidence. What did he do? It is of no importance to me what exactly he did. He took another leap for the stars and paid a terrible price for it. I repeat, he was murdered. The subject of importance here is the identity of the murderer. Everything has gone to rack and ruin. I wish I could take vengeance upon the person who ripped the life from this man. Do you want to help us, Doctor? Find the murderer for us. My brother Victor, who is in the wing next door, would share some of his thoughts on the matter. Help us, and the reward will not disappoint you. Indeed, it seems there are too many coincidences. Your brother's murder can just as well be called the murder of Bachelor Dankowski. I will help you in every way I can. I am convinced that if there is anyone at all that can help us solve this puzzle, then it is you. This mission calls for someone as astute and inventive as yourself. If Isidore was an instrument of fate, then Simon's murder is a message that fate intended for you personally. Do not think I am inclined to blame you for that. I am not. How do you plan to look for the murderer? We will take our own measures. The only thing I expect from you is to be yourself. Do only what you think is required. Whatever you find out, whatever you do, whatever your day turns into, everything is a clue to the solution of this puzzle. I repeat, everything that is happening here is happening on your account. Fine. I'm fine with this course of action. Okay.
So the Saburovs have offered patronage to some changeling. Who is she?
Okay, he says, I'm counting on you, Doctor. Let's read about him. Alright, Yulia's take on him. A potent mind, to say the least. Encyclopedically educated, well-versed in mathematics and physics. Has appreciable background in astronomy. With all that, his chosen field of study is decidedly occult. And it is impossible to disregard how successful he is at that, however awkward it may appear at first glance. The quotidian and the numinous often complement each other very well. Quotidian and the numinous. I don't know what either of those words mean. You gotta have like a dictionary handy whenever you play this game. I have one close by. I don't feel like looking up some words right now. Alexander Sabarov's take. Georgie is no successor to Simon. Semblance and appearance doesn't necessarily imply internal likeness. Cain is too deranged to be a good ruler. Were he, say, to rule our country, he would have turned it into some kind of theocracy. So Sabarov doesn't have a very good view of Georgie. Which of the locals could help me? Whose words can be trusted? I don't know for how long you will have to remain here, Doctor. You are most welcome to be my guest, even though I won't try to help you. While you are here, though, and especially since you are trying to find out the truth, it is my duty to offer you a piece of advice. I'd be most grateful for it. This remote place has a history of its own. There is not enough time to retell it to you, which is unfortunate since it is the background of the town that may possibly justify some local conventions that will most likely seem barbaric to an educated person like yourself. What traces did history leave in your society, then? There are 3 truths that rule this town, 3 origins, 3 ideas, if you like. For several generations, these 3 powers have been in conflict with each other. I suspect none of them can exist without the other 2, yet each of them still strives to dominate. Each of them has its own voice, too. Tell me more. These voices are the ruling families, the co-owners of the Bull Project, who have been ruling the town for almost 2 centuries. Each one of the truths they represent is screaming at the top of its lungs, and in so doing travesties whatever value it carries. Who are they? The first voice is the Sabarovs. The second is the Olgimskis. The third one is us, the Canes. We are the 3 heads of one beast. Each of the clans will offer their own understanding of what is going on. Each of the 3 will use their own voice and the voices of their followers to lie and distort the truth. We cannot exist otherwise. However, in doing so, we will inadvertently reveal the entirety of the truth to anyone who would listen. So I am surrounded by lies. How exciting. Truth is my only idol. It is only for the truth that I fight. Well, no one will dare lie to your face. I have no doubts everyone will tell you the truth, but they will tell it in such a fashion that this truth will conceal the reality better than any deception would. The only thing I'm asking is that you don't jump to conclusions. Compare different versions. Your extraordinary intelligence will allow you to ascertain the truth. That inspires hope. Furthermore, each of us will try to paint a rather ungainly picture of the other 2. Most likely we will fill you in on the negative sides of each other faction and withhold anything that is good about them. That is inevitable. None of us will stoop to outright slander, so everything that will be said will most likely be true, but this truth will be one-sided and incomplete. Listen carefully to what we say and take it into account. Thank you. It's basically the game telling you how you should be, how to investigate, and how to figure out the mystery at hand. The stories of the evil that the Canes have unleashed unto this world are partially true. Do not feel obliged to act in our favor. As you can see, I will stop before nothing to ensure an unbiased investigation. The lack of prejudice I want to instill in you is the one and only reason why I am making a confession like this. I do not want my brother to have died in vain. So either he's trying to take suspicion off of himself, or, like, I guess, like you said, he just wants an unbiased investigation, like 100%. We'll see. I will take your words seriously. Do not worry.
I'm deadly tired.
Let's go through all these dialogue options. Oh, one more thing. I'd like to examine your brother's body. We have sent for Isidore Barak's most accomplished apprentice. His name is Stanislav Rubin. Quite a resolute and talented man, this Rubin is. I have greater expectations of him. He will bring everything you need, and you will examine the body together. Alright, let me know when this Rubin arrives. I would expect him to join you in the evening. No earlier than 11 o'clock, I would say. Why so late? I personally asked him to come no later than midnight. Don't let it worry you. Is he going to come here? It seems you are not in too much of a hurry to ascertain the details of your brother's death. On several occasions, excessive haste has led to undesirable consequences. The phenomenon that Isidore had invited you here to study, it is in our blood. This physiological trait of our family shows itself from time to time. That is quite intriguing. The examination of the body will not help you in any way. This puzzle has to be solved with your mind. I am not able to, or even allowed to tell you any more than that. Believe me, I am not trying to conceal any evidence from you. The body is kept in the ice house. It is intact, but focus may not be breached. I will wait for the required period of time to pass.
I'm
Make sure we
too
get
old.
all of these dialogues. And
Nothing
we got to
can
remember,
harm me
we're meeting.
anymore.
We meet Reuben at 11 o'clock. How many doctors are there in your town? If we exclude Isidore Barak, Stanislav Reuben is the only doctor here. He's the most competent of Isidore's apprentices. The rest are good for nothing, as far as I can tell. They're only capable of distorting the knowledge their teacher is trying to pass to them. Do you trust Reuben? I would trust Reuben with my life, a competent medic of remarkable courage and laudable integrity. Everything he does is done with appropriate diligence and care. He doesn't like people that much, but he is eager to serve them. Why do you ask? I just wonder what kind of man he is. How do I get to know him? Reuben will come here tonight to get down to examining my brother. You will get acquainted then. Alright.
The town will meet its death at the hand of Simon's murderer. That much is certain.
I'd like to speak to Isidore Barak first and foremost. Well, that is a reasonable thing to do. Moreover, that is what etiquette demands. After all, it was he that invited you here. However, I don't think it has informed anyone in the crucible of these plans. I hope you don't get me wrong. You are our guest, and we welcome you. Where does Isidore live? Somewhere in Earth. Earth is the name of the lowest part of the town, closest to the abattoir. I haven't been there for several years, and I don't really know these slums all too well, especially since they were rebuilt after the fire. Victor has visited Isidore from time to time, so speak to him. He is in the wing next door. Fine.
Few people know death. We only...
Alright, so that's all the dialogue we can get out of him. Let's go say hello to Victor, and then we'll say hello to Maria, and then we'll go visit Isidore. We'll see what's up with him. Since he was the last one to see Simon live, we want to try to get as much information as we possibly can. And let's save, do a little quick save, yeah. Get in that door. Let's talk to old Victor. How you doing, buddy?
I feel as though my blood is getting thicker. An omen, is it not?
Feel as though your blood is getting thicker. That's kind of disturbing. The famous Dr. Denkovsky. Your arrival is a great honor for us. Victor Kane at your service. Danil Denkovsky at yours. I foresee that the things that have become ordinary for us will probably make you feel uncomfortable and disturbed. I would like to compensate for that impression. You know, our small community has fallen out of the loop. Time leaves us behind. What do you mean? I mean the traditions, games that we play with passion will most likely be of no interest to you. The people you meet here may seem eccentric, naive, or even somewhat deranged. Please take it easy on us. Don't judge us too strictly. I hope we will be able to work in the atmosphere of mutual trust.
Perhaps old Gimsky is setting a trap for this newly arrived Haruspecs.
How can I help you? Georgie has told me everything, which is to say he told me very little, but it was enough to astound me. He maintains that you can provide a more detailed account. So you have agreed to help us? I have. May I ask why? I always say I want to solve a puzzle. I even like having so little information. It's a challenge to my intellect, which is, which is really why I'm doing this. I like the challenge. I like having to use my mind. I think that's really cool. I'm prepared to answer any questions you may have. When was Simon last seen? He sent Isidore home. Then, an hour later, he came to this hall to see us. He announced his plans to withdraw to the Focus and receive no one. He told us not to approach the Focus and to fast for a week, partaking of neither meat nor water. Then, in the morning, he was found dead. How was he found? The servants discovered him in the morning. The room had been ransacked. Everything that was breakable had been broken. His disfigured, contorted body bore signs of terrible suffering. His neck was twisted, his spine broken, I think. No one has touched the body. It is currently inside the Focus and will remain there for the prescribed amount of time. Do you suspect anyone? No. All I know is that Isidore was with him that evening. No one can enter the focus against Simon's will. Well, perhaps a higher being could, but no one else. Could the murderer have already been waiting for Simon there? No, you have no concept of what the focus is. Entering it is like entering someone else's mind, or a drawn picture, if you will. It's impossible. Well, Simon did somehow, didn't he? He could perform far more impressive feats. There's a reason why the whole town revered him. Alright, so how can I help you? Just take a look around. Trust your intuition. Do whatever you like. Speak to whoever you feel the need to. Look for the murderer, Doctor, and you will find him. Keep looking till the last breath. I am sure your rational thinking will help you. So Isidore is the only lead. How can I find him? Let's ask this question actually first. Alright, who among the townsfolk can help me with this? My daughter will advise you better there. Her name is Maria. For several days she's been obsessed with some design that is somehow related to your arrival. Yes, don't be surprised. She knew beforehand that you were coming. I'll find the explanation. Or I should say, I'm not surprised. Really? That's good. Anyway, Maria believes that several bound people will play a special role in your fate. Before you leave this place, of course. Perhaps it is them you should ask for help. For help first. See, first I'll seek help from my dear colleague Isidore Barat. Where does he live? I'll show you, but you must be careful. Simon's murderer, whoever they are, could not be an ordinary person. I can't imagine them even being a person. I fear it could only be fate, wearing the guise of a mysterious monster. I will be careful. Okay, so we got that over there. Now, last time I was playing this game, I found myself a revolver. I just happened to come across it. I don't remember exactly where it is, but if I can, I would like to find that again. It'd be handy to have for this playthrough. Alright.
It is far easier to be wise for others than to be so for oneself.
Okay, so there's no more dialogue.
Perhaps old Gimsky is setting a trap for this newly arrived haruspect.
Victor King. Yulia Lyacheva's take on him. A new structure of power relationships is being established in the town. Personally, I would have preferred the next triumvirate to be led by Victor. Alas, Victor is utterly loathsome of anything that has to do with fame, authority, or public adoration. He has every right to claim the throne, but he will hand it over to his daughter, just like he did before when his terrifying wife was still with us. His terrifying wife, huh? Andre Stamatin's take. Victor was the only person who could control Nina the Wild. She obeyed Simon and Georgie too, but that was only out of respect for the family's strict morals, and yet Nina followed Victor's word unquestionably, although he never demanded that from her. It's all very mysterious. How did he tame the demon, and why did he allow her complete and unrestricted freedom? Okay, so that's all we have there. Okay, so it's 7:02. Still early in the day. Alright, now let's go talk to Victor's daughter, Maria. We'll see what's up with her. How you doing, Maria?
I think I'm having fever heat.
Me too. It sucks, doesn't it? You resemble an adventurer rather than a doctor. I am an adventurer. I saw you in a dream. Don't flatter yourself. My desires have nothing to do with that. I simply saw you take us all by the throat. What else did you see in that dream? I'll tell you when I think I can trust you. I hope that happens soon.
Why can't I move on my own?
Now listen closely. The time for collusion, secrets, and alliances has come. I am going to ask something of you. I am not used to that. I'm used to holding the reins, but you are not harnessed, so it would be unacceptable to address you in this manner. I find solace in the fact that my request will be welcome with you. It fits the style of your venture. I've never said this before, but yes, you better be polite. I don't take kindly to orders. I am a creature of liberty. I apologize if my words come across as mangled and silly. I am truly not used to asking, but the nature of my request demands complete and selfless humility. Just imagine me begging and kneeling, and believe me, I do feel that way. No need to kneel. What did you want to talk about? Today's death was the first, but it won't be the last. Simon has opened a score of irreplaceable victims. Soon their number will multiply. I beg you to preserve the lives of several people when the lines of their fortune cross yours. Before any of them dies, there will be a moment when you will be able to intervene. I know that for a fact. Who are these people? That doesn't matter. What was destined to happen will happen. You can be whatever you want to be, but not a coward choosing to hear no evil and run away from reality. I will give you a list of those I know of. These people are bound to you. Bound? There is a tight spring of power within each of these people. Each of them can break the routine of human existence and become something greater. They are standing on the verge of their humanity, gazing into the realm where they could serve a different, higher purpose without even knowing it. Moreover, they are bound to make the leap in one way or another. That's why we call them simply the bound. But how is their fate bound to mine? Didn't you say my victory depended on them? How? Try that. I don't know. I'm not a mistress yet. The future is not as clear as I would prefer, but I can feel the present. I can already everybody can feel the present. I can already distinguish a dubious guess from the pulse of the precise knowledge devoid of words and images. These people are bound to you. Your lives are connected. I wouldn't have asked you to take care of them otherwise. Are you clairvoyant or something? Ah, yes. You haven't been told, have you? It didn't even cross my mind that someone may be unaware of my abilities. No one here dares doubt them, for they are evident. Yes, the mistress of every ruling house possesses special abilities. I am learning to see the future and transform the present. We try to get on our good side, or just be like, I don't believe in that. Let's say this, and this fact offers your words a different degree of authenticity. Will you comply with my request? Will you save the lives of the people I name to you? Answer me before going back to Eva. I always follow my principles. It doesn't matter which lines of fortune cross. There will be no exceptions. Alright, whatever happens, these people must live. Their fates are bound to mine. They may well hold the keys to my victory in their hands. Alright, so we have Georgie Kane, Victor Kane, Andre Stamatin, Peter Stamatin, Maria Kana, Eva Yan, and Mark Immortal. Mark Immortal, yeah. Alright, and he kind of looks like Onision. And these guys look like metalheads. And he sort of looks like Donald Sutherland. But anyways, moving on. So yeah, we have to make sure that these people live. How many people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so 7 different people. Alright, let's finish all the dialogue
The
with her.
Saburovs' wait is over. They've always wanted an heir.
Did someone just have a child or something in the Savarov family? We, the Canes, have always been out of touch with mundane reality, but we are driven by love. Love can be furious, funny, and blind, but there's never a need to make excuses for it, is there? And what exactly did you see in that dream of yours, the one that had to do with me? A truly terrifying battle is ahead of you. If no one has ever told you about your fate, I will be the first. You must know that I admire you in advance, regardless of the outcome. You will fight a foe that few can defeat. Is this a prophecy? You will clash with your foe like a dragon slayer, but your weapon will turn against you. Striking at the heart, you will end up with your own flesh torn. Every drop of blood you squeeze out of that heart will turn into a gulp of yours. If your foe escapes you, penetrates you, or saddles you, you will hear malicious laughter in your ears, and my crestfallen weeping. So it's about the murderer. Well, I will make them regret your tears, whoever they are.
I often feel like someone's looking at us from the other side.
That's strange. We, the Canes, have always been out of touch. Okay, so let's see what is going on with her. Andre Staman's take on her. Maria is concealing her true power for the time being, but it has already become apparent that she will stop at nothing when the time comes. Her sheer power will justify any despotism that would spring from it. The brilliance of her talent is going to surpass even Nina's one day. Maria will be grabbing stars by the handful while sipping Earth's magma, and that means there are still things in this world worth living and hoping for. Katerina's take. Whenever I imagine what this town is going to become when she grows up, I feel nothing but dread. It took all of us to hold Nina at the terrible back. Victoria, me, and even the Canes themselves. Little Victoria will not be able to stand up to Maria on her own. I will not be staying in this world for much longer, and Victor adores her. So who will harness the midnight? So who will harness the midnight filly? Alright.
What?
So that's it. Alright, let's go back to Eva's place. And once we get back there, we're going to end the video. Oh, we got to talk to these guys. Actually, since we got to talk to these guys, I'm going to go ahead and save. And we will do that next time. Alright, so anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. My name is Volwolf, and I will see you guys next time.